If you've ever watched price bounce off the same spot like it hit a wall, that's not magic. Those are levels. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to draw them and trade them without guessing. Welcome to Beyond the Trade, where the levels don't lie, the trades hit hard, and we're here to cut through the noise. No scripts, no safety nets, just raw market talk. Lock in. It's time to go beyond the trade.
Beyond the Trade is for educational entertainment purposes only. Nothing you hear should be taken as financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a qualified professional before making investment decisions.
Well, first of all,
What's up?
What's going on, my friend? First off, I wanted to congratulate you for the all-star, amazing, hard-fought Friday. No. I was talking about your Friday. Friday that you had.
We're going with the other.
We're going with the not beyond the trade. We're talking about beyond the trade, where we talk about
beyond the trade.
Mike's Friday P&L, which is beyond what he thought was a trade. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. And the funny thing was I woke up Friday morning, not even, because I've been home for almost 2 weeks, not even realizing that Friday was a trading day. I'm sitting there on the couch and it's like 9:20, 9:30. And I pull open Trading View and I'm like, holy shit, market's open. I forgot. It's Friday. It's not Saturday. So I come running in here and I had closed, before the market closed, I guess that was Wednesday, I had bought heavy into Baba. And lo and behold, it created the biggest trading day I had all year. But wait a minute, that was the first trading day of the year.
Oh.
It was, boom, boom, psh, where's the rim shot? Come on.
Yeah, could you, here, this one, could you hear that?
I didn't hear it. It just muted out.
Well, all right. Mike's having technical difficulties today.
But, yeah. So, yeah, it was actually, I don't remember it for sure, but it may have also been the biggest trading day, bigger than any day I had in 25.
And the thing is,
but I was pretty heavy on Baba.
This was Mike's Sunday banger. And
yes, sir.
And he followed his conviction, and I agreed with him. I mean, astoundingly, the one time we agree on a Sunday banger. Kidding. And I agreed with him, and I thought this was a great play. And you know what? It was trending downwards a little bit. We all knew that it was at a key spot. But, I mean, wow. And then I know that I texted you on Thursday night. I texted or something, and I said, Baba's up 5% or 4% or something. I said, Baba 150. And then you said, yeah, I want it 155 by the end of January. And I said, sooner. And by the way, that was Friday. That was the same day. Well, so
I actually bought those. I bought those on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That probably, I'm going to say it was somewhere around 10:15. And they took a dip, came back, and I was kind of even on them all day. And then as the day went to close, I was down. And I'm thinking, oh, crap, I might have been a little early because I had called out the 147 level. And then looking at it in the morning on Wednesday, I was down. It was down further than I liked. I was almost ready to get rid of it. I'm like, I got till the end of the month. It's not, it's not even January yet. So I held them, and thank God I did. They were that was a good one.
Those went, what, 200%?
Yeah, I think when I closed half of them at 250.
Wow.
And like another 25% at 275%.
Wowie, wow. Nice.
Yeah, so still holding 25%. Not much. It's only a few handful of contracts left on it, but
before we
that was man.
Congratulations. And I know you also had
Thank you.
conviction on Spy, and they had a nice day on Friday there too. Everything was green, so
Yeah.
not everything, which speaks quite well to your conviction and in your hard work, and everybody was here to listen to it throughout all of 2025. And it's just funny that the first day of 2026 was your one of your best days ever. So so I think that's a damn good way to
I,
start it off.
I hope that's just an indication of how the rest of the year is going to go.
Hey, no matter
Yeah, I
what, it
try to
pays.
we called it out as a banger, and I want to say maybe Wednesday I also posted it. Maybe it was Tuesday. I think I posted it um, when it came down and basically came almost down to 147. So that was a day early. If you got in and you held overnight, you woke up and went, "Oh, this guy, what is he doing?" But yeah, it's. I think there's still a little juice left in it too.
Well, that's the thing with these China stocks. I mean, JD, Baidu, Baba, all of them, they're just going to be so jumpy, and you just have to be
Mm-hmm.
okay with that. And it takes a special type of trader to trade and to hold these overnight. I mean, they are just ridiculously hard to hold sometimes, and they move at about 3-4% a day. I've looked at
Mm-hmm.
PDD is another one. That one is very volatile. But yeah, it was a good day for those stocks, Baidu particularly. But anyways, I just wanted to talk a little bit about beyond the trade before we got into beyond the trade. So I want to give you your little segment to talk about the Bears.
No, we're okay. They lost today, but it was a good game. They came back fourth quarter and had it tied up to two touchdowns. Instead of going for the extra point, they went for two on both of them, got them both. They look good going into playoffs. Number 2 seed, thanks to the Eagles. Choke.
Well, I mean, they sat all their
But
starters.
for our support and resistance segment here,
Ah,
what I would like to do. Hang on here. Let me get my trading view back open. Um, I discovered something when I was getting ready for this today, so I'm gonna go ahead and share
you
if I
discovered
can.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Please do tell and show.
I want to share a window. I want to share this window. All right. So support and resistance are. I mean, you look at all the yellow lines I have on the screen. Sorry for those that aren't actually watching, but um, those are typically support and resistance. But even though these on the screen may not look like they line up with a lot of things, I'm on the daily here. And outside of support and resistance, when I popped open Tesla today, I realized this trend line. Something else that's important, I think, besides putting your support and resistance lines in, is to, if you see trends developing, draw that angular trend line. I usually look for 3 touches somewhere down the row and then say, okay, that looks like a solid trend. And for example, in Tesla, I mean, it's been in this trend since got a trend started. I don't know what somewhere in early 25,
Yeah, all it really requires is
maybe May.
2 points, but then if you get it aligned across the third and a
Right.
fourth, then you say,
I
"Oh, ooh, ooh," you know.
I don't really count them until they get 3 touches.
Yeah,
But
that's a Sunday
anyway,
banger.
that's that one there. But what I realized is I started going through a bunch of charts, and not that any of these names are something I would tell you to go trade. It's more as an example to show you what good support resistance looks like. LTBR, haven't touched it in forever. This trend line's been on here since back in October, and it's almost at that trend, and it actually stopped just short of it and had a fairly large day. I guess that was on Friday. But then I went to Oklo. Look at the trend line. The support line is solid as can be. I mean, all of it, every stock I went to, it's like, wow, these support lines have been here. I don't even know when I put them in.
Yeah, so
but how
you're talking
important they
support
are.
here. Oh wow, that's a good one at SMR at 1445.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But there's just so many of them. Galaxy. Look at this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many things
22,
that you're
20.
Oh, that next one is core weave. Why don't you talk
And
about that one, Michael?
it's a mess.
That is not what I wanted you to say at all.
It's so I would say it's stuck in this zone right now, obviously,
Yeah.
of support and resistance.
Uh-huh.
Um, but again, it's not a daily, which I don't. I'll use it to maybe getting a little ahead, but setting support resistant lines, I will usually start with either the 5 minute or the daily. I'll go one extreme or the other. So if I look at this on the daily, I would have drawn one here at this like 89, 90. I would have drawn, the ones that I have on here. But if I go to, I would then go from the daily down to the 1 hour. And okay, they're a little, this one's right on the bottom support level. Top level still works on the hourly. Then I'd look at it on a 15 minute. Probably turn after hours off. And see what aligns. Does it keep aligning? So again, a little bit high here. However, it still matches here on the resistance. So if you go through and start with a daily, work your way down, or start with, if you're trading a lot on a 5 minute, you can start with a 5 minute, work your way up to a daily, and put your lines all on there, and then go back and see where they actually hit on the other time frames. That allows me to dial them in a little bit better. Sorry, I can tell my voice is like crap today.
You sounded normal to
Anyway,
me.
that's what I got for support resistance. I thought it was interesting when I was getting ready for the show
Yeah.
this afternoon, when I
Yeah.
started flipping through and how many levels have been in here and they've worked so well. And it's not on big name stocks. It
I,
works on everything.
all of them. Exactly. And it's kind of a universal thing, really. Yeah, I'll share mine again. Yeah, and I think that's one thing that's really neat, across whether it's an index or whether it's a semiconductor stock, whether it's a old SPAC or whether it's just some other small cap. They're all going to follow the same kind of universal support and resistance rules. Um, you know, and like we talked about in the intro, it's sometimes when you hit key levels, it just seems like there's you know it's like Jesus himself is sitting on the resistance, just like you're not ever going to break that, right? um but I think it
Well, I
is
mean,
very
it's called support and resistance for a reason. It's been there before.
right. Yeah.
If it wasn't there before, it wouldn't be support or it wouldn't be resistance. It's been there, so that's why it's so important.
And I think even though we say it's been there, it's important to note that, okay, yeah, it's been there. You may look at a chart, and if you were going on the daily, you say, okay, well, it's only reached this price one time in a day. Well, kind of like Mike said, if you continue to go down the ladder, right, you go hourly, you go 15-minute, you go 5-minute, you go 3-minute, you go 1 minute, you can probably find a point in time where it's reached that before. I could almost guarantee it, unless it literally is at all-time high right now. You can find a point at
Mm-hmm.
which it's there. And actually, this gets me to a point that I think a lot of people don't really understand. And wow, okay, I did not realize Intel was up 7% on Friday. This is so. The reason I bring up Intel is this is one that I think of when I think of long-term levels that become relevant again. Because Intel, if you go back to, honestly, probably the 90s. I don't know. Let's take a look. And again, I didn't even rehearse this. I'm just saying. And by the way, that's another just drawn line that was right. I just know that this is going to do an inverse head and shoulders, kind of like CoreWeave-ish. But Intel is one of those where you can kind of go all the way back in time for a long time. Okay, yes, it is the 90s. Thank you. I knew. I thought I was wrong there for a second, but I know I'm not. This thing is not really, bro. It's in a. So if you go look at, bear with me. I went from CoreWeave to Intel. Now I'm going to go to silver. Okay, you look at silver, and silver's in what, a multi, decade base, and then whenever the bigger the base, the bigger the breakout, right? So when Intel eventually does break out from this base, just watch it. Whenever it does eventually break out over 76, which is the high from the 90s, or actually 2000, 90, no, 2000. Watch out for it. But anyways, I just go to the weekly here to actually identify some levels, but you can really get rid of every drawing that you have. Okay. And I can go back to Intel price levels from literally the 1990s and, they will still be relevant. And we're going to try this live. I didn't rehearse this. But I think it's something misunderstood by a lot of people. They say, "Why? How on earth are past price levels from so far, long ago? How are they still relevant?" And I'll point it out to you. Okay, so I'm just marking the tops and bottoms of wicks, and so a question that was often brought up to me long ago was, why do you care about the wicks so much? And Acro, do you remember what I always would say to that?
I don't, but I remember it being discussed a lot in the group.
Yes, always. And it's
And
because
it was good.
no, my take. No, because what? You go first.
I was assuming you were going to say because it's been there. That's where it stopped and where it retreated or where it rebounded, either or.
Very good. And I would even add the word aggressively, right? Because if it's a wick, it didn't close there. So it went there and it retreated, or it supported very quickly, and it didn't close there, right? Because if it's a wick, it just tapped. And so if I'm looking back at January of 1999, I'm marking the top of that. I'm just marking the bottoms and tops of ranges. I mean, we'll simply go and mark just the top of Intel in January of 99, which is 3593 or 3592. And then we'll go to the bottom, mark that 2506. We'll go up to the next top, which is 4475. Go to the next local bottom, which is 3250. Okay, we're just gonna stick with those. And honestly, even if you look through, if you look through just to 2001 and 2002, you see these levels already come up again, right? They already do, and it's only 2 years later. So we're gonna, just fast forward, I guess. I'll throw another one at 5256, which is the bottom of the wick from May of 2000. I'm just going to go back to the present day. And, I mean, you cannot draw it any better. You cannot draw it any better. I'm done. Mic drop. Mic drop. You cannot draw it any better. I just marked the top and the bottom of this range that had been there for the last, what am I on the weekly chart? Yeah, 3 weeks ago from November to December of this past 2025. Basically, the bottom was 3290, right? And the level that I just marked was 3250, and the top was 4402, and the top that I just marked there was 4475. So it's not exact, right? It's not exact, but it goes to show these price levels, they don't just go away, right? They're because people have open positions, and over time, if you bought back then at $44, your entry is still $44. That doesn't change with inflation. So you're still break even at $44. I mean, that's kind of the thought. That's kind of the way that I think through it. But of course, there's way more behind it, the algorithms, and a lot of things have changed, obviously, since 2000. But what is so cool is we don't really need to understand the exact reasoning behind why it happens. Just understand that it does. I feel like if you just understand that it does,
And you said you weren't exact, but that's I think another good point is you don't have to be exact. You're kind of setting a range, and it's anywhere close to it is well. You could do you consider that it hit your level? Well, if it gets close to it, yeah, it could dip slightly below. It could stop slightly above. It's an indicator of an area that you want to pay attention to. And if you see a reversal or a breakthrough where it loses support and just keeps going, well, take that support level off your screen at that point,
yeah.
or make a new one after that. It's they won't hit exact. It's not to the penny, but you'll be surprised how many times it does happen to the penny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's
And
usually pretty surprising. You're like, whoa, same level. It's like Baba didn't hit the exact level. It went slightly below it the next day, but it was just an indicator. And I put an alert on when I get a little thing pops up on TradingView that one of your alerts hit. I look at it, go, oh, there's Baba. Okay, but now I'm checking out the prices of the contracts and finding out where I'm going to get in.
Baba's another great one that you can just use, old levels to totally dictate exactly what you should do now. I mean, if you look back in time, doesn't matter when it was, just look back for old, not only whether those are just old resistances or support, they can also be the other. So if it's an old, resistance, that can be a support now, right? So it just, no matter what level, Baba's a great one, for example, like we talked about last week. Back in February and March of 25, this 147, 148 level was a resistance. And so, Acro and I had said this is potentially going to be a good little support. And that's what you'll see often is the flipping of, a resistance to a support or, on the downside, a support to a resistance. And so here, that's exactly what we saw.
And Baba's
That's
not one I
exactly the
really
play.
pay. I don't usually pay much attention to Baba, but I just, again, Sunday night going through, flipping through and drawing support and resistance levels. That's where that 147 level came from was, I think, last Sunday before we got on the air,
It
going
was.
through and looking at these and going, there's a really good spot right there. It goes back to in March, February, March,
Yep.
where it stumbled at that level. And then all of a sudden it broke through in September going, okay, well that now it's given me confirmation that was a support level. Support turned to resistance. Something we haven't really talked about, but that's what happens a lot is support at the high end or at the
You mean
bottom end.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
it breaks through it now will reverse itself, and what you were calling resistance now becomes support.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, this this 147, 148 level just became a very strong spot that we didn't know when the buyers would step in immediately because as you can see, it kind of tapped this level multiple times. It's not like it's just gonna kind of like we said in the intro, it's not just gonna hit there and immediately, whoa, it's super clear, right? Because if it was that easy, then everyone would be doing it, right? And so there was kind of the shakeout candle, which I know, Acro, you were a little, you said you were a little bit skittish about this Wednesday one on New Year, which honestly, New Year's Eve, everyone should know, there's going to be some tomfoolery going around in the old market.
Yeah.
But I mean, this was kind of a shakeout before it really made that push.
Something I just noticed on that, you talk levels a lot, and I've been paying more attention to them, or volume. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You look at that first run it had back in January of 25. Look what started happening to the volume, and boom,
expanding.
it starts going and going. Big volume days, big volume days. Then it tapers off in volume. Stock comes back down to like that 97 area, 98. And you start getting it's flat in between there, and it traded relatively flat or in a zone. But then you look at Friday, August 29th, huge volume day,
Yeah, that was the
and
earnings
it starts
release
bumping
day.
up.
Yeah.
Then you
Yeah.
got one, two, three, four more big candles behind that over the course of the next month or so, and it drove it right past that resistance level.
Yep.
And I mean, again, it's I don't know. That's kind of to me that whole chart is picture perfect of what we're talking about today.
Yep. Precisely. I mean, but what I do want to point out for those listening, and watching, it's never super duper easy. It's never that easy. Like even though me and Mike both agreed, this is a great chart. This is a great, resistance turn support, buy here. And you were trading options, which is not easy at all, right? Those could have been down 20, 30%, if it was near term, maybe even more.
Right.
But if you're trading commons, that's probably a little bit easier to stomach. But yeah, it's not just gonna touch that level and then immediately rip, which it happened to do that here. But that's why props to you for selling most of yours, even though you see here on Friday there was a ton of volume. It's more volume than it had all of December, right? Highest volume day,
Mm-hmm.
all of December. Okay. Um, well,
It's what
yeah,
basically an $8 move off of 147,
yeah, yeah,
$8-9.
$9. So
So I mean, and yeah, and even if you had commons, that's a pretty good move for a couple of days.
yeah,
On an
totally,
options, it was a hell of a move.
totally. Which hence, your options moved 270%. So I just wanted to, have everybody know, it's not that easy. It's still hard. So that's why,
Right.
it's important to enter on any position as close as possible as you can to these key levels that you identify.
And you see, I've got a lot of levels on my charts. You've got a lot I see on your charts. Don't be afraid of hitting the garbage can button and throwing all of your previous levels away and start from scratch. It takes you a minute.
Yeah,
It takes you a minute.
yeah,
Looking at going from and you use the weekly a lot. I usually don't go weekly. I go again from daily to 5 minutes when I set my levels. And if I'm starting with daily, it literally take you a minute to set 3 or 4 support resistant levels, then bump down to the 1 hour, see where those line up. If they need a little adjusting, adjust them. And it depends on what you're trading. If you're trading options on the weekly or on a monthly, then maybe the 1 hour is better for you to start. It gives you can lock things in a little bit easier that way. But don't be afraid to erase them. I used to, gosh, I'll never remember where all those levels were. Well, if you're paying attention, you'll know exactly where they are. Just look at the
yeah.
chart,
Just go look
you know.
back.
But it's like, oh, I worked so hard to establish these levels, and these were such good levels for me. Well, we have nonsense. Get rid of them and reset them. One, it gives you practice, and it cleans up your charts. So you don't have a million lines going back and forth. I used to be horrible at that. My
Yeah, I
God, I
mean,
go from. I mean, when I first started trading, I'll tell you, I traded on the 3 minute.
oh man,
Talk about wearing yourself out.
you like pain, don't you?
I can't imagine doing the 1 minute. Oh my God, it's horrible.
Eesh.
It's horrible. But again, the
That
further you look out, the more these levels will come into play, and you're going to go, okay, now you will convince yourself that that's a pretty darn important level.
yeah.
When you see it pop up on 4 different time frames and you're spot on, it's like, okay, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
No, completely agree.
easy one this week, guys. I practice setting those and knowing what support and what resistance is. Know that they can change. Wait for them to when they break it, and reset them. Reset them. But if you've got them set and you're right, I don't know, 7 out of 10 times, you make money 7 out of 10 times, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah. And I'd say for charting, just general rule of thumb, I would give 60% value to wicks, 40% to bodies, whether it be the top or the bottom, doesn't matter. And that same thing with the wicks. I'd give 60% weight to that, 40% to 60% to wicks, 40% to the bodies. I would first initially look at wicks, and I would start on higher time frames. I would first start on the weekly, but honestly, there's on many charts not many data points. So I'd go daily and then tick down, like Mike said, go 4 hour, 1 hour, 30, and then 15, to get to kind of some substantial levels. Once you're getting to the 5-3, anything lower than 15, you're getting pretty nitty gritty. So I would probably just start
Yeah.
higher time frame, because again, your levels on your higher time frames are going to be more significant.
And yeah, you're using the lower time frames or the shorter time frames only to dial in. I wouldn't necessarily start with that level because I mean, it just helps if you notice, in a 1 hour, okay, there's 4 times that hit this level. You put a line there and you go to look at it on the 5 minute and it's, whatever, $1 below that, but it hit it 8 times. Well, adjust your line a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, I
You know,
agree.
it just you're looking at a big picture, but when you can zoom in and see the details, okay, do a fine adjustment on the lower time frame. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's all I have for that.
yeah.
It's great. One thing I would go back to something. It's sticking in my head here. I didn't even think of it. Go back to Galaxy,
Oh,
GLXY.
oh, data centers.
Go to
Uh,
you're on a daily.
yep.
Look at the head and shoulders.
Oh, bigly, big time, dude. I mean, come on, I live for these. Yeah, it could be better. I mean,
It's not a stock that I'm very interested in, but it's
well,
definitely
you probably
it's in
shouldn't
play.
be.
It's a data center.
You probably shouldn't be. And but here's the thing. People probably got faked out because, well, personally, if I'm looking at this, I'm seeing this massive volume gap down to about 19. Um, and maybe we do another whole episode on volume profile, which I'm happy to do. But
Yeah,
down to
you're the king there.
19, 20. There are people that are way better at it than me, but same thing with any indicator, right? If you're in conjunction, together, they all mean something, right? They together, right? I can't just look at one thing and hold my fist over, the actual price action, right? But I do like to do an exercise of, and y'all know, only look at the volume, right, and just see, the bottom volume and see what it tells you. But I think it is interesting. I was talking to someone and they said, if you were locked on, if you were shipped away to an island and you only had one indicator, what would it be, right? And that kind of caused me to think. And I thought to myself, I says, volume, right? And if volume doesn't count, then volume profile. Aside from price action, right? You give me price action, volume, and volume profile. That's all you should need. But
The more I look at that, the more I want to short it to 19.
that's what I'm telling you, right? It's it's a head and shoulders. There's your price action. Your volume has been dwindling. You did get some buy volume here or whatever, but it was off support at 22, which was a longer term support. So you're kind of you do have to take that into account. But then you look at the volume profile, could go down to 20. I would. That's not something where I would play for the break of 22. That's definitely where I would have shorted it into 22. But then seeing that it's a key support, stopped my shorting, and then gone long potentially, or just done nothing. Especially
Yeah.
seeing this.
I mean, if it is in fact the real head and shoulders, you'll expect it to have a big tail going down here.
Yeah, 20, and then maybe buy.
But we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Let's look at that one in a week.
Yeah. All right. I want
You
to
know what
know.
time it is?
I know what time it
Oh,
is. It's time for Sunday Bangers.
bangers.
Let me hear yours.
So I did some homework today, and this is interesting because I have a bunch of them here.
Oh,
But I'm not going to call them all out. I don't think you mentioned Microsoft. It's not
Microsoft.
something I trade. I don't like the option way they move on Microsoft.
They can be a little
You get
weird.
472 support.
Yeah. Yes.
What I would
I
have
know.
was 472 support.
Mm-hmm.
488 is the key,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yes.
If I mean, I don't know if it's lower support is all the way down to 394. Really, look at that gap.
394. Oh,
Yeah,
394.
yeah.
Yeah. No, no, no. It ain't going there. I don't know.
And I'm sure it won't, but I mean, there's a lot of room in there.
430 is
That's a scary one.
max. So this kind of did what I thought AMD was gonna do. Basically the same chart in my eyes. Not the same company, obviously. Um, I thought this was the buy spot. It could be the buy spot for Microsoft down here. I don't know why.
I have Microsoft back to 466.
Okay. Yeah, I mean 465 ish for yeah. This is if you see, I mean it goes to show July of 24 highs was
You
right at 468.35, which is where it held support, back in November and in January.
you asked, I'm just telling you. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it.
Okay, okay, go.
I got Microsoft down.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
Um, one that I know you absolutely love, PayPal. I think it was you that once said you absolutely hate PayPal.
Annoying.
Or it was one of those. No, that was Pinterest. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You saw Pinterest as a waste of time.
Yeah, I remember.
Look at the support level.
Yeah.
Massive support level on PayPal.
Yeah, I've been seeing
It's a slow mover, but it could be a good long-term play. I would go, if I was buying options on this, I would go at least a month out, maybe 2 months out. It's relatively inexpensive, so you can probably get some pretty good deals. But being that I don't trade it very often, or if ever, look before you ever get into an options play, look at the spread. If there's a 30, 40 cent spread, stay away. It's not worth it. You'll buy them and you'll be down 20% as soon as you buy them. So check the spread on that. But I thought that was an interesting one based on the level that it's at. I talked about Baba. I think there's still some room in there.
For sure.
Netflix has lost its long-term trend line. Again, we go back to drawing a trend line and throw one up there, and you'll see what I'm seeing. Top one, all the way back. You can go even back further than that. You can go all the way to the bottom of that trend. It finally broke that trend line.
Does it really go way back?
Yes.
Not trend line. It would be extended line. Horizontal. No, not horizontal line. There's extended line, right? Yeah, extended line. Something like that.
But I think Netflix, I would look at playing that one on the short side. Yeah, it goes back all the way to August 24, I think.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, that's where I at least had mine, where I started my trend line.
I mean, if it goes back.
But again, a year of following trend, and when it breaks trend like that, indicator to me that something's up. And then you have this whole deal going on with
Warner Brothers.
The sale of Warner Brothers. Yeah. So, and they're obviously wanting to battle for it. There's a gap right at the bottom of that trend line where it gapped right through it. Crazy. But it's getting a little bit of support. I don't think it holds. I don't have a target for how far to go because it's been on a run for so long. My last one that I will say is one that I will be looking at playing hard this week is one of my favorites, Tesla. We've had like 9 red days in a row.
Wow.
The haters out there will talk about, oh yeah, they missed on vehicles sold. I really can care less. In my opinion, Tesla is not a automotive company. They're a technology company. The autonomous robotaxi thing is going to be huge. The Optimus robot thing, people look past that and they look at the car numbers, and if I don't see Elon look worried, I'm not worried, and he don't look worried.
Yeah, he's going to make $1 trillion because of the Optimus robots. So yeah, I wouldn't be worried too.
So on that one, watch 438 as if it breaks through that 438, just kind of wait and watch on it. Where you're at on that, I can't see your screen that well.
Yeah, it's sitting at 438 right now. So yeah.
Yeah, so tomorrow will be a good indicator. Watch where it goes. I would say 419.50 is, I don't want to see it go any lower than that. If it goes lower than that, but again, it's hitting the trend line that I have drawn as well. And that'll be the spot that I'm looking to see if it will actually reverse. If it loses that, I mean, this thing can go all the way down to 420.
Yeah.
That was probably the last big support.
Yeah, I could see 420 happening.
But if it runs, it go all the way back up to 467, I think is more likely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're not playing options and if you don't play options and you want to own some Tesla, the other option is TSLL, which is a 2X.
Oh man,
they're relatively cheap.
Those 2Xers, you just got to be careful. But yeah, I hear it. Yeah, I mean,
be careful, but
hey,
it's a good way to enjoy some money from Tesla, but you want to be on the right side of it.
Yep.
And it's the 2X is on calls. It's on longs.
Yep. Bull. See, listen, you see I've got CRWG over to the right on my watch list. I'm no stranger to the 2Xers.
Well, they say that like this one should be a short-term hold. I've got some TSLL that I've held for months, and it's up 80%.
Wow.
I mean, it's not you got to play with it. If you're not used to them, I would say buy one or two. Buy one. You're going to spend $20-$30 to get one, and just watch it. See how it flows, how it trades, and you'll notice as you're looking at it. If Tesla's down 3%, this is going to be down 6%.
Yeah, it's just
if Tesla's up 5%, you're going to be up 10%. Yeah,
every single day.
So for $18, buy one and just explore it for a while. See what happens. It's lunch money at that point.
Yeah. No, I love that idea. I love that. I mean, and that brings me to my Sunday banger, which is CoreWeave again.
Sunday banger.
We're back to the weave. We're dodging and weaving. We're here. CoreWeave. It did do. It will do. It will ultimately fulfill the inverse head and shoulders, the one and only. It did it a little bit quicker than I thought it was going to be, and honestly, I thought it would probably go a little bit lower. But I mean, 70, yeah, it's kind of a hard number. It barely broke back below kind of that spot where they announced that government deal a couple weeks ago. So I think that was just a little liquidity grab, going to head right back up, headed up on high volume, which is very good. The last 5-6 days before that on Friday were some of the lowest volume days in a long while. So CoreWeave, it's a good long in my eyes. I think still it's been a super doom and gloom story. I mean, you have to just follow the AI trade closely if you're going to be in this one. Follow the insider trades closely if you want to look at that. Go to SEC Form 4. Just search on the internet SEC Form 4. Type in CoreWeave on the top, and then you can see they're mostly owned by a group called Magnetar Financial. They own 80-something% of the stock. Just one of the early investors. So once it gets, but they haven't sold actually in over a couple months. And I guess I didn't check last week, but before then they hadn't. Although, executives continue to sell every single day. But shoot, if I was in something and I had hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stock, yeah, I'd be selling too, right?
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
and those are pre-planned. People look at insider selling. Oh, good golly! The sky is falling. No, these people plan these things, and of course, if it's a private company that just went public and the lockout just ended, of course they're gonna be selling, right? They've got to cash out at some point too. Like I acknowledge that. If I took a company
They're
public,
no
I would.
different than me and you.
Right, I do the same thing. So
Yeah,
I
I mean,
and
you're in a trade and you have your limit. You're going, okay, I'm locking in here. If it hits this level, I'm selling,
yeah.
and they're the same. It's not doesn't mean that they don't believe in their company anymore. It just means that they're locking in profits at that point
You go to that
and taking
SEC
them.
you go to that SEC Form 4 site, and it's funny because it's a quote, and the quote says, insiders may sell stock for a number of reasons, but the only reason they would buy is because they believe it will go higher, right? So it's right. I mean, touche,
True.
right?
Yeah.
Touche. And so, and
Yeah.
Elon just bought what, billions of dollars of Tesla, and people are selling this one. So
Mm-hmm.
good little push and pull on our Sunday bangers. But I will say there's a 2xer on this one. CRWG, same exact thing, right? CoreWeave was up 10.7%, 11%. CRWG was up 22. So if you want to see how these work, try them. They are going to be more risky. Newsflash, right? Anything
Yeah.
that's two times levered, it's gonna be more risky. So you can totally
And
lose.
those are the ones you want to own. Don't mess with options. If there's options available, don't mess with options. My
Yeah,
advice. I mean, do what
yeah.
you want, but
Options
again,
on
not
these.
trading advice, but no, on those, yeah, you want to buy it to own it, not to rent it.
You're yeah. Anyways, but that's mine. I mean, I still believe in
So
CoreWeave, and I think Carvana's gonna go bankrupt, and I stand by that. So I mean,
you love Carvana. Speaking of things we hate, or this is, I guess, the bonus material we haven't even talked about is what happened the other day in Venezuela and how that's going to affect the market come tomorrow morning.
yeah. I mean, if I
I've
look,
done a lot of research on it because I'm unsure, and to me, nothing's happening. It's futures. At least before we started this podcast, were kind of like, whatever. Oil will definitely have some movement in it, but I don't know. I really believe I would be cautious at open tomorrow. If you're in, playing spy or watching spy, I would give it probably at least 30 minutes to let it settle in and find its direction before I got into anything on spy. If oil is stable, spy's going to shrug it off and it's going to trade like it normally does. If oil has a huge move, then be cautious of spy. Um, but I don't know. It's there's so much tied into this thing that from the last I read, it won't be until 2027 until the big oil is back in there, because there's so much infrastructure that has to be rebuilt and redone. So the amount of oil they're pulling from there should not have any effect on OPEC, at least the way it looks right now. So, but we have this week, huge, huge, huge economic data week. We have tons of payrolls, unemployment, ISM data. It's going to be, and then we have a couple of FOMC guys, Fed's talking. So I would be very careful this week. Most of that data is coming out early in the morning. So, but this could be a pretty volatile week for the market, in my opinion.
yeah, I've got a buddy who went long Exxon on Friday, and
Nice.
it's up 7%. It's at 130, closed at 122.65. So Travis, congratulations.
From
Not
what I
cut.
saw, Exxon and OXY also is one that people are watching.
CVX.
They have, I don't know exactly what their stake is in Venezuela. It's not,
Yeah.
I don't typically play, but Occidental Petroleum is one I think that there could be a lot of benefit to them from what I read.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. It should be
It's
an
going to be an
interesting
interesting.
week.
And when we get done with this, by the time you guys see this, I'll have posted on the Beyond the Trade X page the economic data coming out this week. And what I do on that is I only post, whatever I grab it from, it gives you three bulls is like high importance. So I only look for the ones that are all at three. There's a lot of other data out there, but the ones that I post on the economic data chart are the most important for the week.
Good deal.
Red flags. Be cautious or look at them and wait for the data. Don't be in something when 5 minutes before the data comes out. You can. That's another tip is know what's coming. If if there's news or data coming at 10:30, don't get into a trade at 10:25. Wait for the data because it could blow your socks off one way or the other.
Wait for the data.
Wait for the data.
Chevron's up 10%.
The funny thing is we said we're going to keep this to 30 minutes today. It's 50 minutes in.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's how it goes. That's how that's how it goes.
Feels like it feels like it's been 10 minutes.
That's just because you like me.
It is. And guys, please like, subscribe, comment. All that stuff helps. Lets us know that you're watching and listening, and it helps the algorithms get us out to more people. We try to post, 2-3 times during the course of the day on the X site as the news that we feel is important. So yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for tuning in.
I need a bourbon.
Go get your bourbon and go Bears, I guess. And let's have a great week. Everybody have a great 2026.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everyone. Let's make it a great year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for listening.